Hello everybody! Welcome back to Nukeshot Media and the Nukeshot Endurance Series North America Tour Round 4 here at Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta. Once again delayed a week due to technical issues. The event sponsor for today, of course, Michelin North America. We've got plenty of special liveries, such as the one that you saw there with Chica. And plenty of action to come today as well. We've got a decent turnout. As you can see, 10 cars currently on the circuit. And we're a little bit behind schedule, but qualifying is scheduled to start in about 2 minutes. I'm of course your commentator for today's Okio. 30 laps of racing here today, and we're looking to go into the night time towards the end of this one, as I think the audio check has gone successfully. There we go. Indeed, plenty of action to look forward to today. Wind speed relatively low, shouldn't be much of a factor. It's currently Poctavian that has the fastest time in practice. There you see Poctavian, recently switching from Group 4 to Group 3. Had a very successful debut in that category at Watkins Glen last time out. I'll be hoping to go back-to-back here today. Chica here as well, in the Michelin colour scheme version of that car, of Understeer Engineering. We've got Taters here for Team Taters, running a bit of blue on the car as well. Myth in the Viper, of course. Good to see Myth back. We've got Lugi in the Oreo liveried car today. Zephanius in the small but plucky Suzuki, number 58. Nils making their return to the Nukeshot Endurance Series. They're driving a Volkswagen Scirocco today, as there's a cone in the middle of the circuit. I'm sure there are marshals waving flags of debris. And Joe of the Fire, of course, our lobby host and championship leader in the Group 3 category. And Houdini Myers in the Group 3 category as well, known for his very fast Oh, apologies for that. I have no idea how that happened. But apparently I was muted that whole time. Oh dear. Must have accidentally clicked it on my controller. Nils about to come across the line. No improvement, that's somewhat expected with the tyre wear. Loogie to go, but again, tyres looking sharp. I think that is going to be the order for Group 4. Really got to make sure I don't click that button on the controller. Apologies for that. Loogie crosses the line. And it is going to be Loogie that takes pole position here at Road Atlanta. Oh, it's Houdini on the CGTC account. Hello, Houdini. Thanks for letting me know about the mic, because I wouldn't have noticed. Professionalism here on the Nukeshot Media YouTube channel. I at least think it wasn't muted for the intro. I don't know when it started. So, Joe hopefully has the grid order. He's not replied back. Oh, that stupid error again. It's not ideal. Here we go then, Group 3 qualifying. Well, plenty of action in the chat. Thanks to all of you that are joining us for this. Round 4, of course, of the Nukeshot Endurance Series North America Tour at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. Someone has just joined the lobby. I wonder who that is. Oh, it's Mauro. Mauro's here, just in time for qualifying. Unless they're in Group 4. I think they're in Group 3. Yeah, they just switched to the Viper, I think. So, yep. Is that a Lightning McQueen livery? It's very similar to one anyway. Okay then, so we're about a minute away from the setup application period ending. Hello to Mateus. Nice having you in chat as well. Numbers are going up. Everyone's just applying their setups. That's why you're seeing them occasionally drive out of the pits. That brings us up to 7 then for the Group 3 category. Nice healthy amount. And Mauro could be a bit of a wild card for this. Again, leave your predictions in the chat as to who you think will do well. Minutes once again, and this time it looks like it's going to be Houdini leading them out. Another thing that the drivers are going to have to look out for is the pit entry. It's a little bit tricky at this circuit. Pit exit as well, easy to run over the exit line. Just checking some of the stuff going on Discord. Yeah, it seems everything's a-okay on me. We're not muted. That's a good start. So we've got Houdini. Oh, look at that! It's the classic Gran Turismo 4 style colour scheme this time. The white with the black stripes. We've got Octavian, of course, winner last time out at Watkins Glen. Chica, who made their debut last time out. Myth, once again, series regular. GTO, series regular. Sporting a Paradox-inspired livery there, with some yellow camouflage striping as well. We've got Taters as well, who I believe is our championship leader in Group 3. And we've got Mauro here. Last time we saw them was at Daytona, I believe, in an Acura NSX. We've got plenty of clear air. Let's go on board with Houdini, I think. Making our way through the S's, a fantastic bit of circuit, plunging downhill, oh, just understeering a bit. Really have to commit through there because the car does grip up as the track goes upwards again, through that compression. Through to the southern part of the circuit, and the slowest corner, second gear, all the way below 60 miles an hour. Wind speed again shouldn't be much of a factor today, only 2 meters a second. This Ford GT, we've seen, although it not necessarily start on the front row of the grid, it has fantastic launches from grid starts. So Houdini will be looking for as much clear air as possible for said grid start. Of course, pole position will be his aim. Crosses the line. That's good enough for provisional third. It is Octavian that currently has the best time at 1:18.254, followed by Chica in the Mustang for understeer engineering. And actually, Taters crosses the line and goes second. About 3/10 back from Octavian at this stage. That's a 1:18.570. It was a 1:18.737 for Chica. 1:18.796 for Houdini, so that now 4th and 5th are very close together as Mauro crosses the line in the Viper, just over a 10th back from Octavian. So a good showing considering their relatively late car switch, very much so. Car number 8, Lightning McQueen inspired livery, looking good. Through the S's. It's 1:18.370 at this stage. GTO 1:18.981, and Myth, I don't think that's necessarily a representative time at this stage, 1:22.5. Indeed, they are improving significantly. Octavian coming up to the start-finish line once again, and that's the first 1:17 we've seen today. 1:17.836. Chica improves again, that puts them back to second. Taylor's about to come across the line. They got a little bit of dirty air as they've caught up to GTO, but they do improve, but not position. Mauro in plenty of clear air. I like this strategy from Mauro. They improve, but not position. Houdini, that was a cool down lap it seems. Although the tyres again really starting to wear out. And GTO and Taters are very close together on circuit at this stage. Taters looking to go to the inside. There's contact! There is contact! As we're coming to the end of the session. Octavian will be the one to cross the line. Will it be a further improvement? They have a 3.5 gap at this stage. No improvement this time. Does Chica get it? No, not quite. Who's next across the line? No improvement for Houdini. Bit of a disappointing session for them. Taters comes across the line. No improvement there. GTO, no improvement. There was that incident. And Myth there as well. And it is going to be Octavian taking pole position here at Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta for round 4 of the NES North America Tour. Congratulations to them. And everyone's staying on circuit this time. Isn't that fantastic? More errors with the chat. Seems to have been bugged since the latest update, but at least the servers are holding up for now. Mateo's thinking that Taters is going to win the championship today. We'll go through the current standings while we've got a chance. In Group 3, it is Taters that leads by 12 points over Houdini. That's 39 points for Taters and 27 for Houdini. 21 points in third place is GTO, followed by Octavian in fourth on 17 points. Fifth place is Dominic Kubinski, fan favourite. Unfortunately not able to be here today. I'm sure we would have got thousands of views if Dominic was able to turn up, but unfortunately not. It's then Myth in 6th place on 12 points. Mauro in 7th on 8 points. They're hoping to increase that today on their return. Chica, who made their debut last time out, they're on 4 points in 8th. And Mihai on 1 point in 9th. As for Group 4, we've got Joe of the Fire. He currently has a 9-point lead over Lugi, who's on 39 points. Joe is on 48. Zephonius on 20 points. They're currently in 3rd. Octavian 4th on 16 points. John Wandering in 5th. They're not here today, unfortunately. But they are on 11 points. Tom Soft on 6 points. They're in 6th place. And Mika in 7th place on 4 points. Nils, who was here today, hasn't actually raced yet this season, so that's why they aren't listed there. Be interesting to see how high up the order they get from the end of this race. If you enjoyed qualifying, be sure to leave a like and consider subscribing so you get notified when the season finale and all future projects on the channel go up. We're a little bit early for the start of the race. We're ahead of schedule for once, isn't that novel? Race is scheduled to start in 3 minutes. I'm just checking to see if everyone is ready. Okay, Mauro's apparently not ready. Unless that's the issue with dealing with these peasants is that they might say no, but that could just be sarcastic. It's mind games. Awful stuff. And there's all sorts of chaos going on in the S's. Cars going the wrong way. Typical stuff. Checking. Was there anyone else? Don't think so. Oh dear. Oh, you can actually see the time markings through the gravel disappearing there. Random observation of the week. I don't know. Should we get Harry Hill on as a guest commentator? That'd be quite something. 30 laps here then for round 4 of the NES North America Tour at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, unofficially brought to you by Michelin North America. And I believe no one has said no, and I'd expect them to say they're not ready if that is the case. Everyone's on circuit. And we're about ready to start. We're on schedule. Bother, we're actually behind schedule by 1 minute. Oh well. Can't win them all. We've got 7 Group 3 cars, 4 Group 4s. Here we go then. It is Poctavian on pole position, followed by Chica, then Mauro, Taters, Houdini, GTO, Myth, and Luigi on pole position for Group 4, followed by Joe, Nils, and Zephonius. And it is green, 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 and the cars are off. And a fantastic launch by Mauro sees them jump up into first place right off the line. Chica also challenging for second, looking to go around the outside of turn 1. Side by side, they clip the grass and they spin! They spin around! They recover it fantastically well, but they're going to be dropped behind the Group 4 field. They're scattering as Luigi manages to hold on to pole position in that category, but it is Mauro that holds the lead after a fantastic launch. Poctavian looking to go through the inside, and somehow Taters has managed to get up into second through all of that as Poctavian backed off, looking to go around the outside as Mauro has a 0.5 second penalty. And there's more contact, and I think Mauro's been sent off. Mauro has been sent off. Heavy contact there. Side by side with the 2 Genesis cars. Octavian goes back into the lead. All sorts of chaos happening at the start. Houdini managing to get into the mix as well. GTO's found their way up into 4th, as some of these cars still battling down the order. Houdini manages to get up into 2nd, so Taters drops back a little bit. Meanwhile, Chica overtaking Lugi once again. That puts them ahead of the Group 4 field. Seems things were a little bit calmer for Group 4 as Lugi maintained that pole position, Joe 2nd, Nils 3rd, and Zephonius in 4th, although they have a 0.5 second penalty themselves. And Mauro dropped down the order after the incident. All sorts of chaos going off at this stage, as Houdini may have made a mistake, as Houdini has dropped down to 5th place. Interesting, they're on the racing medium tyres. I'm not sure where they would have made that mistake. But there they are, they're trying to make a pass on Myth. Side by side. Oh, a little bit of contact as they make their way through. It's not been a clean start to this one. I'd hate to be on the stewarding committee. Oh wait, I am. Oh dear. Well, the 2 Genesis cars at the front of the field, we've seen that on several occasions this season. It is Octavian leading Taters, is understeer engineering ahead of Team Taters, and GTO managing to avoid the chaos for the most part and is up into 3rd place. Houdini fights their way up into 4th, as Myth on racing hards. Interesting strategy there. Chica round the outside of the final corner. What bravery there, as Mauro fights their way back up. Going through the Group 4 field. There you can see the gap between Joe and Lugi. Lugi's managed to break away a bit, perhaps using the Group 3 cars that fell back as a bit of a buffer. Nils dropping back just a little bit again, trying to avoid the chaos. Zephonius as well, not too far behind in the Suzuki. The top 2 closing in. Going to be within slipstream range, I think. And GTO not too far behind either. I think we saw Myth with a slight penalty. Going to go on board, as Octavian seemingly had a very solid exit out of that slowest corner on the circuit. Perhaps set up with a little bit less downforce. Of course, setups are allowed in this series, so although the cars might be the same for some of these guys, they can be set up radically different. And again, it seems Taylor's closing up in the corners, so perhaps that is the case. Taylor's running a bit more downforce. Going to be tricky to make an overtake. Coming towards turn 1. Tricky with the dirty air as well. Making their way towards the S's once again. They're starting to drop GTO at this stage, as the dirty air has its effect through the S's. Still within slipstream range though. There you see GTO and Houdini. Houdini catching up just a little bit, was about 3/10 faster on that last lap. Chica managing to ride out the chaos a little bit after their initial spin. They've managed to get up into 5th place. Oh, decent recovery to get this close to the leaders again. Like within 10 seconds still. Myth making their way through that slowest corner, and there's the other Viper of Mauro in hot pursuit. The Lightning McQueen car closing in. Number 8 as opposed to number 95. In the slipstream, they're going to go side by side. The outside line it will be for Mauro. Are they able to outbrake Myth? It looks like they are. And they managed to make the apex as well. Nicely done by Mauro. Just clipping the grass on exit. Got to be risky with that. Checking in with the rest of the order. Closest battle is the lead in Group 3. In Group 4, it is a 2.7 second gap that Lugi has over Joe of the Fire. Interesting that Luigi has gone for the softs and Joe for the mediums in this one. So perhaps that would explain why Joe has held back just a little bit, but he's trying to stay in touch. And as the tyres wear on Luigi's car, Joe should be able to catch up again. 124.8 last time for Joe, compared to a 124.5 for Luigi. But that front left on Luigi's is now completely gone. May expect them to go into the pits this time around. Nils also on the mediums, as they're side by side battling for 3rd and 4th place. I just saw that. It looks like Houdini shuffled out a little bit, and that's allowing Chica to go down the inside through that last corner. We've seen plenty of action through there today already. Wow, what great racing. Let's see this one again. So here's Houdini in that 4GT. Oh, very late. Making their way through, and GTO squeezing them a little bit on exit, and that allows Chica to make their way storming through on the inside. Plenty of onion barges being shared between these three as the top two continue to escape up the road, and Octavian has broken slipstream range. That could be crucial here. Both of these on the racing softs. GTO on the mediums. In fact, GTO's doing that split tyres that we see them do. That's sort of been their trademark this season. Mediums on the front, softs on the rear. And looking at how even the tyre wear is, that seems to have worked out very nicely. As down the inside goes Chica. They're late on the brakes. Have they outbroke themselves? No! Very nicely timed, although they ran a little bit deep, and that's allowing GTO to perhaps go down the inside. Not quite enough space to get that one done. Has to slot back in, and that's actually compromised their run, so that's allowing Houdini to go to the inside. Houdini going to try and go late on the brakes. GTO tries to fight it. Backs out of it. Can they get a little bit of a switchback as they approach the S's? Not quite. So it's Houdini back up into 4th place. Meanwhile, we may have missed it, but I think Luigi has... yeah. He's got a 3-second penalty for cutting the pit exit line, and that tells me he has bid for a pit stop. He's also on the racing hards. So switching that strategy, the softs not seeming to work out in the initial stages, and he's got a lot of gap to make up here. Not even a third of the way through the race yet. So it is Joe of the Fire, our new Group 4 leader, has a 9-second gap over Nils, who has a little bit better tyre wear in that Volkswagen Scirocco, it would seem. And even better tyre wear is the Suzuki Swift, who goes partly on the grass, showing that Pikes Peak rallying heritage there in that Suzuki Swift. Exciting stuff as the battle continues. Into the pits goes 2nd place. That is Taylor's new set of tyres for that car. Making their way out. All over the bumper goes Houdini, and I think Houdini's dropped it on the grass. They have done. Houdini on the grass. They've managed to avoid the tyre barriers. I think GTO may have had a slight moment, as that is Taylor's rejoining the race on the mediums. Let's see what happened here then. So we know the Ford GT is very strong on the straights. Was he just caught out by accelerating too early? Yep, that's exactly what it was. Look at that! Threading his way through the boards. Could have easily hit the barrier on the outside, but avoids it. But that's dropped Houdini back down to 4th, and Mauro is only a second behind, and in fact closing. Though they are on the softs, and they are very worn, especially the rear left. Interesting how it's the rear tyre there for the Viper that's giving up. Compared to Myth, who's been on the hards, that could be the play of the game here, because they're actually ahead of Taylor's at this stage, although that gap's closing in, as you can see. Into the pits, our race leader. There goes Poctavian. GTO stays out on their split compound. Houdini also staying out on the mediums. Chica goes in on the mediums. That's interesting. Mauro goes up to third. Where does Octavian rejoin? Did Taters get a bit of an undercut? It seems not. Seems that Octavian had an advantage doing that extra lap on the softs, as Taters is ahead of Myth at this stage. Myth yet to make that stop, going for a long stint strategy. As leader in Group 4 goes into the pits, that's Joe of Team Simpact Racing. New Michelin tyres for the Audi TT. Michelin, of course, not only event sponsor, but the tyre supplier for this particular race. Nils also into the pits, mirroring Joe's strategy. Not quite to the 1/3 distance marker. That's interesting. They might have to extend a stint somewhere. Zephonius, I think, yeah, they are into the lead of Group 4, although yet to make a stop. They're on the mediums at this stage. Maybe they're actually going to the separating the race into 3 equal stints. Into the pits goes Mauro, that's the Lightning McQueen Rusty's machine, number 8. Into the pits, what tyres do they go for? They're going to rejoin, I think, a little bit further back. Where's Chica in all this? They're about to make their way towards turn 1. I think they're going to be ahead of Mauro. Yep. Mauro now making their way out. They are on the mediums. And they've got a 3-second penalty, so that'll be for cutting pit entry, I think. They may have made a mistake there. As, did someone else have a penalty, I see? I think I might just be seeing things. But through all the chaos, it is GTO that is currently our leader and has made it to the 1/3 distance marker. I wouldn't be surprised to see them in. Someone is going into the pits now. It is Zephonius in the Suzuki. New tyres for the Suzuki Swift. That car's been very economical on its tyres, also decent on fuel as well. Just lacks a little bit in top speed, has been its Achilles heel in the past. New tyres for GTO. Remember, after the start of the race, he can't do the split compound trick anymore. So he's probably gone for mediums all round, would be my guess. That puts Houdini into the lead of the race, although Octavian closing in. Houdini yet to make a stop. And it is mediums all round for GTO. Side by side, was it there? A bit of an overtake between Chica and Myth. As Myth, well, I think they may have gone off just a little bit. Grass tracking there. Circuit very tricky for the Viper, it would seem. GTO closing in as well. They're fresh out the pits. Houdini is surely going to be coming in at some stage soon. I think we may have seen all of the Group 4 cars pit at this stage. As down the inside goes GTO, making that pass stick. Will Myth be able to retaliate? As we're into the night stage of the race already. This is quite the development. I would have thought it would come a bit later, but here we are. Night running going to be tricky here. The circuit is lit by several lights in places, such as here at the chicane towards the end of the lap. Myth stays behind for now. Look at this though. Octavian has managed to overtake Houdini. Here it was going into turn 1. Had a very good run out of that final corner. Down the inside. And Houdini on the worn tyres really couldn't do anything about that. So what's Houdini trying to do here? Are they trying to go to half race distance and make it a one-stop strategy? We've seen how twitchy that Ford GT can be, especially on worn tyres, so that's a really risky one if you want to avoid mistakes, as we're seeing a bit of lappery here. There goes race leader Octavian ahead of Lugi, as Zephanius is currently 9 seconds back from Nils. Just saw as Taters goes past Nils. About 5 seconds to Houdini for Taters. Whenever they get that close to the pit entry, I always think they're going to go in, but no, that is just one of the lines that you can take. As Chica and GTO very close together. They haven't no, apologies, just lost my train of thought there. Chica pitted a bit earlier, so their tyres are wearing a smidge more. As Myth goes into the pits. Myth into the pits. Can't take those racing hards any further. I think they would perhaps try to go to the half race distance marker. Couldn't quite manage that. Maybe they're going to go mediums and then mediums again, would be my guess. We'll see how true that is. They're making their way out of the pits. They are indeed on the mediums. Bit of sparks there thrown up. 3-second penalty. That must be for pit entry again. It's one of the trickiest in the game, to be fair. As here we see our two race leaders, Group 3 and Group 4. And the lappery continues here at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. Brought to you unofficially by Michelin North America. And that is a fastest lap of the race by Poctavian that time. 1:17.786. That will of course be an extra point for Poctavian if he manages to maintain that fastest lap. It's an extra 2 points for the pole position sitters. And Houdini has really been caught up by Taters. He's definitely trying to make it to the half distance marker. Whether that will pay off remains to be seen. So Taters is third, Chica in fourth, GTO in fifth. Seems to have dropped back a little bit from Chica. Sixth place is Mauro, 6 seconds behind GTO at this stage. And Myth in seventh. Our Group 4 leader, Joe of Fire, car number 27 of Team Simpact Racing, the Audi TT. And back up into second place in Group 4 is Lugi for Nukeshot Motorsport, driving the Oreo car. As Zephanius has disconnected, it would seem. What's happened here? Unfortunately, we can't seem to see that on the replay. I'm going to assume that is a disconnect then. So really unfortunate stuff for Zephanius. Into the pits goes Houdini. Just about at the half distance marker. Maybe a lap early, but we'll see how that goes for them. So Poctavian, well, they were in the lead anyway, but we believe everyone has had at least one pit stop by this stage. We're at the half distance marker in the race for round 4 of the NES North America Tour here at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. If you're enjoying all the action, be sure to leave a like and consider subscribing for the rest of the season, aka the season finale. Gonna do the half race distance update, which is brand new for this particular race. I just decided to call it that for some reason. It is Poctavian that currently leads in Group 3, followed by Taters and Chica in third at this stage after spinning on the opening lap, so fantastic recovery by them. GTO in fourth place, so in the middle of the Group 4 traffic at this stage. Mauro not too far behind there in fifth. They seem to be closing up. Houdini has gone off the circuit. Oh no, that was just a Jack Wilkinson just acting up as the cameraman there. Don't know what he was thinking. But there is Houdini there in 6th place, and Myth in 7th as it stands in the Group 3 category. In Group 4, it is Joe of the Fire, championship leader in the Group 4 category. Once again in that leading position. Lugi, who was our pole sitter, being overtaken there by Mauro. Was a little bit off with the strategy call at the start, was on softs, they burned away extremely quick. But they're back into second at this stage on the hards. It is Nils who is in third place in the Group 4 category. And unfortunately Zephonius has disconnected. And now, if we have a little bit of time, and if everyone is spread out just a little bit, just checking through the order, yep, everything seems about fine. We're going to keep an eye on GTO and Mauro's gap, I think, for this. But the mystery circuit for round 5. I did mention that it was going to be revealed midway through the live stream. That way it encourages viewers. Currently 3 viewers, so that seems to have worked very well. Oh dear. As the gap continues to close up. But the mystery circuit for round 5, of course, that was a gimmick that we decided to do, an event for potential circuit edition via update. No circuit came, so we had a backup plan. And the circuit that is going to host round 5, we're heading to the Sierra Nevada mountain range and the Trial Mountain circuit. There it is. There it is, official. Trial Mountain. Once again, a 40-minute race broken up into laps. I have that wrote down somewhere. I think it's 22-ish laps. So more details will be, of course, on the Discord, which is in the description. Make sure to check that out. Check the link in the description. Hopefully it's actually working as a link this time. It is. Fantastic. Of course, we're still accepting reserve entries and such. Haven't had a full grid all season, which might sound sad, but it's allowed for plenty of newcomers throughout. As Poctavian goes into the pits, they were on softs, or at least they've switched to softs now. They've gone for mediums, okay. That puts Tatus up into the lead of the race, with a 10-second gap over Poctavian. GTO in third. Chica into the pits. They are on mediums as well. They're making their way out. Bit of an odd space to stop, perhaps. They've gone for hards. Are they trying to get to the end from here, then? Okay, interesting strategy call. They're going to rejoin just behind Nils in Group 4. As there's been an off! That's Houdini! Houdini has been off! What has happened here? The Ford GT, it was on fresh tyres, it seems. Just carrying too much speed, I think. Yep, very easily done. Did they hit the tyre barrier that time? I don't think so. I think they may have just missed it. We've got to be careful with the rejoin. Oh, that was cars going through them. That was scary stuff, I'm sure. But they're back into this one. Got to really just settle down. Chica 2.6 seconds ahead. Myth 11.3 seconds behind. As Mauro and GTO, those two have swapped around, it seems. Joe of the Fire goes into the pits. So this is perhaps going to be the last stop for Joe. New mediums for them. Gonna have to take these a little bit longer than their previous stints, though. Nils also into the pits. Oh, and it's hards actually for Joe, so that just updated itself. So yeah, those should be able to go to the end quite fine. Where's Lugi and all this? Making their way down through the last corner. And that's a 1 second penalty for Lugi. Track limits. Apologies, I was looking down the chat momentarily while that happened. Thanks again for your constant support. And only 4.3 seconds back is Nils from Lugi, so perhaps an opportunity to catch, especially given Lugi pitted a bit earlier, and especially given he keeps getting penalties for track limits. 2 seconds now. That's really going to drop him into the clutches of Nils. Could be an exciting battle towards the end of this one. 7.6 is the gap between the leaders in Group 3. Octavian trying to close down on Taters. Taters still has a pit stop to do though. It'll be a case of whether Octavian will be able to take the mediums all the way to the end from here. Mauro finds their way up into third after making an overtake on GTO. And there you can see the difference that the split tyre compounds make on that Lexus for GTO. The front's wearing out significantly more than the rears. That will induce understeer. Chica on the racing hards, trying to get it to the end from here. 1.2 seconds ahead of the recovering Houdini, who is on mediums. This is going to be another close one. Myth currently by himself on the mediums, but actually set a personal best lap last time around, 120.486. Joe, race leader in Group 4. 23 seconds ahead of Lugi. That looks almost insurmountable at this stage. And then 1.6 to Nils. That's going to keep coming down. GTO goes into the pits. This will be their last stop, presumably. They've made it to the 2/3 mark as Houdini goes wide out of the final corner, perhaps not accounting for the dirty air, as he is in that slipstream range of Chica. He's on better tyres in terms of the compound, but Chica's will definitely last to the end of this. We're going to go on board with Houdini. GTO rejoins in 6th place and about 5.3 seconds back. We're going to be hoping that these two start scrapping and end up losing time towards the slowest part of the circuit. Trying to close up. We know that Ford GT is very good in acceleration as well as decent for top speed. As Taters goes into the pits, this will be their last stop for car number 98, our championship leader in Group 3. Mauro goes through. Lightning McQueen there, perhaps looking to make one more stop still, which will probably be for softs, would be my guess. And oh, 3-second penalty for Taters. That's pit entry. Again, catching another one out. As closing in comes Houdini, has really caught up now as they make their way through the S's. In these night conditions, the track temperature will be at its lowest. Also the air temperature, which means turbocharged cars have a little bit of an advantage, but both of these naturally aspirated, perhaps supercharged in the case of the Ford GT, I can't quite remember. I think so. Looked very close for a potential move there by Houdini, but couldn't quite seal the deal. I think he's pulled out of slipstream a bit early here. Got to time the slipstream to get a decent enough slingshot. Defending the inside for the chicane is Chica, but I think it's not going to be able to hold on to it. And indeed, Houdini manages to make the pass completely before the braking zone. Chica's just going to have to hope that Houdini burns through their tyres. GTO making their way under the Fox Factory Bridge. 5.8 is the gap between them and Chica. Trying to close that one in. Drove the fire. Very impressive display once again. Look at the brake discs glowing on the front of that Audi TT. Fantastic stuff. Very thermal efficient. Into the pits goes Myth. This will be for their last time. Lugi trying to get to the end from here. Nils will have the tyre advantage towards the end, but Lugi has track position and 5.8 seconds in hand, although Nils takes a tenth out of that through the chicane. There's Myth making their way out of the pits. It seems they are going to be on... Yep, racing mediums again. Who's that? Oh, it's race leader Poctavian. And Lugi about to come through as well, it seems. Myth managing to stay ahead, get up to speed. Nicely done there. Into the pits goes Mauro and the other Viper, car number 8. Currently second place. Where is Taters in all this? I think he's just crossed the start-finish line. He's making his way through turn 1, actually. So Taters will comfortably have second place back. And on the softs, gotta think he's going to be challenging to get the fastest lap back. Also going to be lower on fuel than what Poctavian was earlier. Thanks, Mateus, for confirming that the Ford GT is indeed supercharged. Bit of battling here, 4th and 5th. So Chica's managed to get out ahead of Mauro, but Mauro on the fresher tyres. Going to be really tricky for Chica to defend this one, especially because Mauro's on the softs. Mauro, I think, probably going to do the smart thing here. Hold back, try and just get a slipstream pass, because he's going to easily be able to outbrake them going into the chicane. Although it looks like they managed to get side by side just about. Oh, not quite. Not quite. And not quite back enough to get enough of a slipstream run perhaps, but they managed to find the inside line, towards the braking zone, and that is the significance of soft tyres versus the hards in the braking zone. As Houdini span again! You are kidding me! Houdini loops it again! Under the Fox Factory Bridge. Is he going to lose another position? He's already lost 2. Here comes GTO. I think he's just about going to hold on to it. Is he? Just. Let's see what happened. He just clipped the grass. Yep, clipped the grass, looped it round, and that is a blind entry on the other side of that crest. And a 0.5 second penalty for Houdini as well. That's going to be really difficult to come back from. The tyre's really not in good shape to battle at this stage either. Lugi has managed to get the gap up a bit from Nils, 6.7 seconds. But Nils with a significant tyre advantage. And with so many laps to go, you have to think either Lugi's going to have to pit again, or they're going to have to stay out and hope that Nils isn't able to catch up, despite having completely dead front tyres. It's a tricky call. It's all going to depend on pit deltas. Taylor's 25 seconds back at this stage, but they have set the fastest lap of the race. They get that extra point at this stage. 1:17.663. Good showing as they make their way past Nils. Mauro managing to get up into 3rd place. 1:17.813 for Mauro. They're on softs and they look healthy to go to the end, so this could be a fantastic return to form for Mauro after what was admittedly a very tricky Daytona. Of course, they were absent for rounds 2 and 3, but they are returning here. It should vault them up the point standings a bit. Chica currently 4th. There you see the Ford Mustang lights in the background. And Houdini and GTO still very close together themselves. GTO just biding their time at this stage. Still plenty of laps to go. About 4 or so. As just checking through the order again, it looked like there was a little bit of sliding going on, but seemed okay. Myth still currently in 7th place in the North Star Racing white and pink Viper. As... oh! Okay. So, the hand has been played. Lugi has made a pit stop. They've gone for softs. So this will be perhaps their best bet at catching back up. But 15.9 seconds, 16 seconds in fact, to catch up to Nils. Nils themselves are actually going to be suffering for tyre wear towards the end of this. Will they be able to hold on? The turns have tabled. Joe goes into the pits. Okay. Perhaps Joe going for softs, trying to get fastest lap point as well, could be an option. And he's probably got enough space, to be fair, to make this pit stop and stay out in the lead anyway. So, might as well. 23 seconds is the gap at the front of the field still. Octavian leads from Taters, and Mauro sets the purple fastest lap of the race. That's going to be an extra point for Mauro then, if it stays as is. 117.475 for the Lightning McQueen Viper. Great showing on their return. Chica currently holds on to 4th place, ahead of Houdini, who's still holding on to 5th. Half a second behind is GTO in 6th. 44 seconds back is Myth at this stage. It's going to be really tricky for Myth to come back from this. But he is still getting the points. Joe of the Fire still leads, and in fact that gap has come down significantly after that pit stop. 6 seconds. He is on the softs. Gotta think he's safe unless he's going to make a mistake, which I highly doubt. 11.9 seconds is the gap between Nils and Lugi. That gap has come down significantly. More lappery going off. Some of the cars going through. Fantastic to see. It's a great circuit for multi-class racing. Here's Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. Fantastic stuff. Let's compare these upcoming lap times then between Nils and Lugi. As, hold on, I think GTO may have got past Houdini on that occasion. Indeed they have done. I'm going to check in. Houdini's tyres really giving up at this stage. Just needed about 3 or 4 laps more. It was a mistake. GTO managed to get to the inside and make the pass stick. And now Nils held up a bit by, or rather, Houdini held up by Nils through the S's. Got to be patient through the S's section. That's something that I hope a lot of the drivers have been exercising patience through there. But the gap has come up to 2 seconds. I was saying the gap here between... oh no, 1 second penalty for Lugi. That's really going to hold them back. It was a 126.2 for Lugi last time, compared to a 127.3. I think Nils has this, especially if Lugi keeps getting penalties. It really depends on if Nils can keep the car on the circuit. Remember, it's their return to the Nuke Endurance Series after a decent bit of time away. And relatively late decision to go to Group 4 on the basis that there was pretty much a guaranteed space here. On to the last lap then. That seems to have gone by quite quick. And he's actually making his way through the final corner. What a race it has been then. It is going to be Octavian taking the win here for round 4 of the NES North America Tour at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. Congratulations to Octavian. A fantastic drive. Looks like Taters is going to be next across the line. Well, someone's in the middle of there. Myth is actually the next across the line. A lap down in the end. Still getting the valuable points. It is going to be Taters taking second place. It's a Genesis 1-2. And on his return, it is the Lightning McQueen Viper absolutely crushes the lap time again on that final lap, taking third place and the extra point almost certainly. It is Mauro. Congratulations to them. Going down the hill, it is going to be Joe of the Fire taking the win in the Group 4 category. All but sealing the championship, one must think. Congratulations to Joe. Nils will be crossing the line in second place. There they are. And Lugi in third place. And I also believe it's entirely possible, we'll have to do the calculations at some point on the Discord, but I believe Taters may have also won the Group 3 championship with this one. There it is though. Pole position and a clean race bonus for TSR Poctavian. A fantastic showing. Save that replay. Here are your race results then. It was Poctavian in the Genesis taking the win from Taylor's in second place. Had a 23-second gap in the end. That is very impressive. Definitely got the strategy right on that one as well. Mauro on their return getting third place. Chica fourth. GTO fifth. Houdini fell down the order towards the end in sixth. Myth in seventh. It was Joe of the Fire winning in Group 4, followed by Nils, then Lugi, and Zephonius, unfortunately, a disconnection. Gonna have to check in on them at the end of this on Discord to see how they're doing. What a race that has been. Hope you've all enjoyed it. Not 100% certain as of yet as to if the next race, the finale, is going to be next week or the week after. I think it's going to be the week after, if I'm being honest, due to real life scheduling conflict with, of course, the Super Bowl, if any of you have heard of that. But we hope you've enjoyed the live stream, and hope to see you for the season finale at the Trail Mountain Circuit. There it is again, for the season finale of the NES North America Tour. Hope you've enjoyed. I've been Zokyo, your commentator here on Nookshot Media, and from all of us here, we hope to see you in the Sierra Nevada mountains. From all of us, it's goodbye.